Okay, okay. Before I tell you if this game is any good, I need to ask you to get serious for a second. I'm gonna boot up the game, and you have to promise not to laugh, okay? Don't laugh! I'm watching you, don't you laugh! Here's the game. Why can't these handheld games make Spider-Man look good? He looks like he got flattened by an 18-wheeler. Someone called the Texas Hammer. But okay. But once you get past the graphics, what you will find is an actually very playable handheld Spider-Man game. It doesn't try to do anything it shouldn't do on a Game Boy Color. The game's difficulty is not too much to handle, as it even starts with a difficulty select, which is a first for a Spider-Man handheld game. And there's even passwords to get you back to where you were, which I don't think was in the last game either. But that's okay, because real men use passwords. Real losers use save states. I actually had a decent amount of fun with this handheld game. I couldn't believe it. It's not great, but for a Game Boy Color game, I think it does the job pretty well. The controls are pretty responsive, the combat can be a little stilted, but again, it's more than playable and still pretty fun. Of course, given the title, you have to go after the Sinister Six after they kidnap Aunt May instead of Peter Parker. To think this could have all been avoided if they had just kidnapped Peter instead. But a game about Spider-Man fighting the Sinister Six, especially on old school 2D platformers, is just a really good match. Sure, it makes the game a bit predictable because you know when the game is going to end, but still, it's cool. There were a few things I didn't like though. First of all, in order to do a web strike, you have to press A and B at the same time, but like, you gotta press the B button slightly before you press the A button. I did get into a decent rhythm, but there was still a bunch of moments where I didn't do it when I wanted to. And also, I know I said the gameplay was pretty accessible in terms of difficulty, but while the later levels do get a little aggravating, there is one little problem with the game, and it's these weird warts. I don't know what they are, but they are sometimes hard to see, and most of the time completely unavoidable. You can't just jump over them, because when you jump while wall crawling, you jump pretty much in a straight line, and you cannot hit them. But these things are in your way of progression, so you just have to walk through them and take the hit. And the bosses are just kind of annoying. Not bad, just annoying. They're kind of trial and error. You just have to figure out the method to attack them, and once you do, they go down pretty much instantly. The final boss, Dr. Octavius, is pretty annoying because you have to figure out you have to wait for him to drink his Gatorade before you attack him. However, the main problem is that you have to go to the edges of the wall waiting for him to stay clear of his arms, but if you go too fast, you'll cling to the wall like a wall crawler.